Hi, this is Meredith Lego. Hope you're having a good day. I am doing a series of videos on channeled teachings from Ascended Master Hilarion, and I've been lucky to kind of connect with him through quantum entanglement. And what I do is I have certain questions that I'm curious about, and during meditation or after meditation, I essentially connect and document answers to those teachings. And I usually do it through a Q&A format. So the last few video sessions I've been getting into the quantum field and polarity. In the future, I'm going to be going more into, I've done more on mirroring. In the future, I'm going to be doing more on polarity and actually the science of ascension and how that happens. So like, what are the stages that we go through as we're raising our vibrational frequency? But I want to pause from that for a little bit of time because there was one channel teaching that I got on the concept of genders, and that's obviously been a big topic as of the last, several years, probably the last 20 years or so, where it's really increased in our society. But it came up today because, I was listening to another video from another channel teacher, and this concept came up. So I thought, well, clearly these sorts of teachings are beginning to be brought forward more into sort of the general population through channeled videos. So I thought I would share this. This was something that I channeled actually mid last year, so mid 2020. But I just kind of felt the need to bring it forward now in video format. It was pretty interesting. So it was based upon a question that a friend of mine actually asked me to ask Hilarion. But I also have some personal experience in my family around this topic. So I was pretty interested as well. So the question that I started off, and I'm just going to kind of read the answers and unpack it like I normally do. But the question was, why do souls choose to experience wanting to be a different gender than the physical gender of the body? So the question, or the answer that Hilarion provided, is the physical body is just an avatar, and not many humans on your planet understand this. It's a corporeal unit, similar to a vehicle or a car for having an experience. So in other words, it is not us, it is just a piece of us. It's something we use to get around, get our consciousness around in, if you will. Each being has the capacity to flow both feminine and male energy through the four lower bodies: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the etheric. And I've talked about that in past videos. Feminine energy is magnetic and emanates attributes that pull in or attract towards oneness, such as love, compassion, and intuition into the four lower bodies. So if you kind of think about the feminine energy or being magnetic, magnets kind of pull or suck in, which makes sense. Then he goes on to say that male energy is electric and pushes out energies associated with drive, action orientation, will, and logic. And they are subtle energies that emanate from the 0 point as rays and drive/influence the emotions, mental, and physical activities of a being. But they are not physical characteristics. So in a future video, as I kind of go through the teachings that I have, but I haven't mentioned this, but I have a book and I'll kind of talk about that at the end. But in the past, he showed me in a visual format through a meditation the concept of a torus field. So this is basically almost a donut shaped field of energy that basically works around us and emanates up and around us, with our heart basically being the center of that point. And, in essence, one side of the field basically is emanating more magnetic energy, and the other side is more sort of electrical energy. And it actually works in connection between the brain and the heart. And so what he's saying is that really each individual has both energy types, both female and male energy types. It has nothing to do with the gender. It's more of the attributes of sort of compassion, love, giving, and then sort of will and action. And I think in a very balanced human, you're going to have an equal representation of both energies emanating from your body. He goes on to say that the energies do not have some connection, let me reread that. The energies do have some connection to the physical body in the sense that these energies activate chromosome development in the DNA, which turns on chemicals through the body endocrine system. The endocrine system is connected to the chakras, which are portals for the passage of subtle energies and rays into and out of the four bodies. This allows the physical body to resonate with the energies. The frequencies align. So I think, in other words, what he's saying is that, as the energies kind of flow around, they do have the ability to sort of affect possibly our development through the chromosome development and the DNA. And that obviously can trigger a bunch of stuff within our endocrine system as we're developing the physical body during development in the mother's womb. He goes on to say that, however, a being can contain both energies. To be totally balanced is to display an equal percentage of both feminine and male energies. The rays of both will and power to create, manifest, and act upon love and compassion. For what is love if not actioned or manifested into reality in the physical? What is action if love and service to others is not the intention behind it? I absolutely love that phrase, because what he's saying is that, you can have the feminine side of yourself, which is often associated, like feminine energy is associated with love and compassion. But what's the point of having that if you're not acting upon that and bringing that into the world around you? And that is the male energy working with the feminine energy to sort of take that feeling of love, and then you act upon it. You bring it into manifestation or into reality in your world. And then the other half of it is saying, but what's action if love and service to others is not the intention behind it? So obviously we can do a lot of action in our lives on a day-to-day basis. But if I'm not doing that action with some sort of love that's at the center of what I'm doing from day to day, it's sort of not doing a lot of good in the world. So those two energies really need to work together to balance each other out. And I absolutely loved that concept when I was hearing it. So then he goes on to say, getting back to the original question that I asked him, so why does a soul enter into a physical body with a gender and choose to be another gender? Often the soul has experienced multiple lifetimes as a specific gender imbued with specific energies and rays, but the soul wishes to experience being another gender. The behaviors and buildup of energies from past lives embedded in the soul blueprint are not so easily forgotten, and as a result, traits tied to either the feminine or the male energies will manifest into the four bodies regardless of any physical gender. So I think what he's saying here is that essentially you're getting, like, most of us have had many, many lifetimes, and usually we start to prefer a certain type of physical gender. And as we're doing that, we're building up certain energies that are kind of imprinting on our physical, our etheric blueprint of the soul time after time after time. And when you have that many sort of buildup of energy experiences in your blueprint, it's going to have a natural effect on, the sort of energies that you give off in, let's say, the lifetime that you have now. So let's say even if you're in a male body, if you've had, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lives right before that as being a female body, female body and female energies, it's not so easily sort of forgotten in this particular life. He goes on to say that another reason is caused by soul walk-in situations, although this is rarer. For example, A soul in a male body might decide to exit and take a back seat, allowing for another soul with a different energy or rays in the soul blueprint to enter the avatar body. The new soul may not resonate with the physical gender, but instead exhibit the energies formed in the female gender body. So if you've not heard of it, basically there's situations where soul walk-in can occur. So you've got, let's say, a person, they're living a life, and for whatever reason, their higher self or their soul decides to exit, but the body doesn't die. That higher self can contract with another soul to kind of enter in and take over the body, or in some cases, take a back seat. So that could be another, obvious situation, especially if the new soul walking in has a certain higher amount of energy than what the physical body is. Finally, a soul might have contracted for a soul lesson or experience of changing genders. This lesson can be learning to be yourself, letting go of fears, or teaching another family member a lesson of love and compassion. So in that particular case, when we go into lives for incarnations, we actually go in with the intention of either learning or teaching, and oftentimes we're doing both. And that will come through in future sessions that I do on the point of incarnations that I've learned from Hilarion. But essentially, that could be one of the reasons that this happens, is that the soul has contracted either to kind of experience it for the sake of experience, and there's no right or wrong, it's just experience, or to literally teach somebody else in their reality, basically lessons about love and compassion through that. Then he finally goes on to say, with any of the three reasons for gender dysphoria, the most important aspect is understanding the ray energies that guide the soul and the configuration of the soul, the configuration the soul elected to have during the incarnation. The experience is to provide for consciousness evolution. Like actors in a play, you change characters in each life for a different perspective. So here, there's no, right or wrong answer. It's just experience, and it's what the soul needs to experience. And by doing that, it helps the whole, if you will, all of source, all of consciousness, learn and grow through that experience. So I thought that was an interesting perspective on gender and gender types. Obviously become, kind of a hot topic in society these days. And, I hope you were able to learn more about how different feminine and male energies kind of work more in an energetic sense, and then how that can influence and interact with the physical body. So if you liked this video, I encourage you to give it a thumbs up, and if you resonate with the content, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. Bye.